Teradata Director, Industry Consulting. How you doing? Am I saying it right, Dr. Is it Stefan Schwarz?
Yes, absolutely, Stefan
There you
Schwarz.
go.
Yep.
Let's see, since 5 years, Dr. Stefan Schwarz is a Director of Industry Consulting, CME at Teradata. Prior, he worked for 1&1 Internet, AG as VP Customer Management, was responsible for a lot of things. Global Customer Relationship Strategy and Management. Served as Director of Information Services at Bertelsmann. Did I say that right?
No.
Bertelsmann? No?
Bertelsmann, yeah.
Bertelsmann. Lycos
Absolutely.
and consulted various blue chip companies when consultant at Data Warehouse, CC, St. Gallen. Appreciate you hanging out with us here today. I already set it up at the top before you came up here. What makes a superior big data strategy for telcos?
Okay. To a big data strategy, a lot of things have to come together, right? So it's about people, it's about processes, it's about obviously also about data, right? And it's also about what do you do with the data? In the end, what is important for every big data strategy is the value that you create, right? No strategy that doesn't create any value is any good, right? So, so you start with the use case and the business case, and then basically you go on and talk about the enablers that you need in order to achieve that. And by following this process, in the end, you have a big data strategy. And you have to obviously have a long-term view, because a strategy is always something that needs to be sustainable and that needs to change the organization in a way that it will also probably even do better than it is today.
Let's talk about partners. I mean, obviously Teradata Partners is a single source solution for any organization. So the benefit of attending partners is tremendous.
Yes.
How has it been this year for you?
It has been terrific, honestly. I've seen so many new things, and I've spoken, and that is probably most important. I've spoken to so many people, seen so many new use cases, how to apply data, how to use data, how to create value. That is, it's always a good, the best time basically for me in a year, in my professional year, that really helps me basically to become better myself.
Great. How can telcos adapt to the new market dynamics and the OTT competition?
Honestly, what differentiates the OTT space from where telcos are currently, OTTs are absolutely relevant to customer needs, right? And this is where telcos have to become better. So they really need to focus on how can I get closer to my customers? How can I become more relevant to my customers? And data and analytics and understanding of the customer basically is a key to exactly that. This is exactly what is needed, right? So in order to bridge the gap that in terms of customer relevancy, you probably currently see between the very good OTT players and the telcos nowadays, is a relevancy for the customer base, for their customers. And there they have to become better, and therefore they have to use data, all kinds of data, big data, traditional data. They have to combine it cleverly, apply models, and find the right use cases to become more relevant. So for example, here at the conference I spoke about household targeting, right? So it is really important not to speak to single customers with confusing messages within one household, but really have a consistent message to everybody in the same household, so when they speak with each other, they clearly understand what the telco operator does for them, and probably even what it doesn't do for them, right? And so this is I think really important to bridge this gap that sometimes exists between the really successful OTT players and telcos nowadays.
Well, what's going to change for the end customer in the world of telecommunication?
Honestly, everything, right? Because communication basically will be the main enabler. This is what I believe, the main enabler for how we live together in the future. Just think of all this Internet of Things, like the connected home, connected car, smart home, smart cities, smart grid, right? Everything will become smart, connected, and it will have an influence on everyday's life, right? So just imagine you leave your home in the morning. You exactly know when to leave your home because it's pre-calculated. The traffic jams are included in the calculation of the time it needs basically to get to work. The coffee machine is already prepared when you come from a bathroom and everything, right? the life will change dramatically. And this has all to do with communication. And the telco providers are the ones that are really on the core of this whole game because they do communication, right? They provide the means for communication and they transport data and voice and everything from one place to another. This is really where telecommunication changes the world. It's a big word, but it's obviously, I think this is true.
Well, that word can easily be changed to from telecommunication to efficiency, efficiency, efficiency from the consumer side all the way to the big, largest organizations in the world. That's what it breaks down to, is becoming more efficient in life.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. You're absolutely right. It will make our life easier. It will take complexity and out of our life because there is somebody who cares for you, right? This is what telecommunication, if they do it right, will enable in the future.
Data changes everything means more now than it ever has been before. And with the transition of where technology is and analyzing all the data with that technology that's bringing in, it might not mean more any more than it does now than later. It might be the most important time of technology in that transition. Communicating to leaders of organizations that they understand that data is available and it needs to be analyzed and it will increase your ROI, your bottom line.
Yes.
It means more now than ever.
Yes, absolutely. You're absolutely right. Data changes everything. This is the slogan basically of this event, right? This is a tech line basically that underpins everything here. Although I have to say, data alone probably is not good enough, right? It needs intelligence, it needs analytics, it needs also processes, and somebody has to make use of the data, right? Data alone does create some value probably, but in the end, you need to have everything in place that really makes data work, right? Data is a very, very important enabler, and I think I gave an example early on that basically shows that. But everything else has to be in place as well. You have to have a strategy, you have to have the right use cases, and you have to have the right processes that really drive value for the customers, for the enterprises, for companies, for everybody. And this is what it all comes down.
Getting started is the most important part for a lot of these organizations, is taking that step and moving in and truly embracing the data that's available and simply analyzing it and moving forward like everybody else.
Yes,
you know, you've got to do it, because if you're not doing it, your competitors are.
Yes, they are, right?
It's
a very competitive world, right? And absolutely, but data can help you basically to survive in this environment and even become big and important, right?
Well, it looks like a lot of people out here. We're here in the Buzz Lounge, obviously, here at the virtual news desk, and folks are walking by, heading over to the keynote. The excitement has been building over the week, especially today. So they're starting to make their way over there, and I know you want to get over there and take a look at that as well. Thank you very much, Dr. Stefan Schwarz, Teradata Director, Industry Consulting. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'll see you over there at the keynote very, very soon. Right now, before we toss it to the session,